the worst show of your life. And
Yeah.
You're like, oh, no.
Yeah, well, as soon as it becomes about you,
Yeah.
then it's no longer a good show. It's like, no, your show's about everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So you did high school theater
yeah.
and stuff like that, and then, so you're from Florida?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I grew
Where
up
in Florida?
North of Tampa, a town called Newport Richey.
Oh.
This is just like,
Newport Richey.
yeah, no thanks. I had this intuitive sense of like, have you seen the movie Lady Bird?
No.
It's like this like high school girl who like, she doesn't even necessarily know why, but she's like, I need to go to college outside of Sacramento, California, which is this like pleasant suburban area she grew up in. And like, that resonated so much with me, this idea that it's like, I didn't even know why, but I knew, like, I was like, I need to get out of this town, out of this state. And I ended up going to college in Florida, but I went to, like, a pretty cool, great, tiny college. But, like, graduating, my number one thing was, like, I don't know where I'm going, but it's not, like, I'm not going to be in Tampa, Florida. I'm not going to be, definitely not Newport Richey, you know.
What did you said tiny college. What kind of college was it? And how tiny?
It was 1,800 kids.
Awesome.
It was called Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Little liberal arts place?
Oh, yeah,
Nice.
super. And I got a degree in computer science, which has helped me career-wise, good jobs and stuff. But, like, because I was able to work within the framework of liberal arts or whatever, I really just packed my schedule with as much like writing and philosophy and theater and art classes as I could, and I got away with a lot, you know.
Sure.
And that really helped me become like, I don't just develop all the things that I like about myself.
Good.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I think a small college is nice. I went to a small college too that was apparently twice the size as yours.
Where'd you go?
Well, I went to a college called University of Dallas in Irving.
Okay.
That's how I got to Texas. But yeah, it was like 3,000 people. So it was like, though there's a big grad school and there's a seminary, so people are becoming priests and masters of various things. So there's that. So that makes up a bunch of that crowd.
One of the cool things about Eckerd was like there was no graduate program, and like all the professors just like cared about the students, which was like, I think like if I had gone to like a big state school, I probably would have been like, fuck this, and dropped out, you know?
Yeah, it's hard. Part of me wonders, like, I don't know, when you're the kid who's choosing where you want to go, you don't have the perspective to know what it is you need to learn out of it.
It's so crazy that it's like all the criteria, like after I had been in college for a while, all the stuff that mattered was like none of the stuff that I was like considering. You know? It was like literally I ended up choosing Eckerd, I think, because I had like a strong intuitive sense that I liked it and I was hearing good things from other people. But like ultimately I wasn't going to know that it's like, oh, but you're going to like take these classes with these professors and these professors are really good. Which is really the thing that matters most.
Yeah, or you're going to make connections with the friends that are going to teach you the life lessons you need to, and even the bad stuff you go through, you're going to learn here in a safe environment.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I always think, my husband's very much the kind of person who says, like, you don't need to go to college. And I was like, I don't think you need to, but I think it's real good practice adulthood. I feel like if you consider your child sheltered in any way, you should probably send them to college. If only just because it's like, somebody's watching out for that kid, but they're mostly making the decisions. So it's like practice before they move into an apartment in a big city and no one cares about them, and they've got to pay rent or some big burly guy's going to come punch them in the face. Like,
no, there was definitely a lot of like permission to fuck up in college that helped a lot.
It's wild the way that is. I think it's really super necessary.
Yeah.
But sometimes I wonder if, you know, like you were talking about like a big university. I wonder if like people from super small towns really benefit from going to a big university because it like changes the perspective of their life. Whereas like if you imagined, I was from a suburb. I don't know if where you're from, you'd consider very suburban.
It was very suburban.
Okay, so not like rural.
No.
Then when you go to a smaller place, it's almost like suburb is in the middle. So it's like you're not from a city, you're not from a farm, but you need to pick one of those two to hang out in for a few years. Yeah, and I went for the smaller. Okay, there were 6 other drama majors and me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My
like, that's it.
graduating college, the computer science program, there was like 6 of us.
Yeah. But it's great too
It was
because
so
it's
great.
like so much easier.
Yeah, this is like this
so
one
easy to
fun.
keep track of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm always proud that like of the 6 of us, I think 5 are still actively doing theater stuff.
Yeah, that's
I'm like,
great.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
Though you were smarter and got a computer science degree, I think that
Right.
that's probably what you should really use college for. Is like, how would you like to make money? Because I chose theater, and that's still what I'm choosing, and it's really crazy.
So I got two things to say about that. One, Jessica Arger, who is one of the co-owners of the Hideout, she was literally talked out of a theater major because she was told that it wasn't going to be relevant.
Sure.
She literally owns a theater. Because she thought majoring in theater wasn't gonna be appropriate, right?
Sure.
And so you think about that.
But she didn't have to, and she's still running a theater.
Right, that's true. But it's like I could
not work in a computer science degree. I could not do any of the jobs that you do under computer science because I do not have a computer science degree.
I think the value from a computer science degree is different from what employers think the value of a computer science degree is.
I'll cut that right out. I don't want you to be not unemployed for the rest of your life.
I don't care.
No,
Take it
it's so funny.
No,
our primary audience are employers of computer science
that's
jobs.
True. No, I really resent like the stuff that I liked in the field are just like abstract mathematical concepts that don't. That employers are just like, but can you build the thing? Can you make the website look like I have in my mind?
Can you be inside my mind?
Yeah. And it's like, the internet is so like a clusterfuck and broken, the whole foundation of it. We're like minutes from everyone's whole personal lives being hacked. Actually, that already happened.
Yeah.
That's already happened a couple of times. Well, it's going to keep happening.
We don't have privacy. Let go of it.
None of
Just
that.
Just accept it.
No, people have no clue how bad any of this stuff is. How duct taped like everything is, right?
Yeah. And a culture 2 inches from doxing you into living in a cave.
Yes.
And so yeah, I was saying something about doxing I was like, I feel like maybe this is too far. Like we're really going into a mob mentality we don't want to do. Mm-hmm. And then people responded back to me so viciously, like maybe people shouldn't live lives they can't live entirely in the public. Mm-hmm. And I go, okay, here's the thing. I can tell you every single thing that I've done in my life from beginning to end. And some people wouldn't like some details of it. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that overall I wouldn't be a PG movie, for sure. But, like, some people are going to disagree with this or that or whatever.
Like we're already, we should all know, and I think this is, like, a failure of our education system, but, like, we should all know by now that it's, like, the idea of, like, if you have nothing, like, the only people who would worry about, like, having all of their personal information publicly available are, like, bad people. And that if you are a good person, then it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
And that there's no need for privacy if you're an ethical person. And it's like, that is so untrue. And, like, it's like, how much history do we need? How much, like, arguments for, like, clear arguments do we need to have to keep making this argument, you know? But it's like, but that's a false argument that people make to gain power. It's a useful tool, that misinformation, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think also there's a certain level of naivete and hope. I truly believe that there are people that are just like, it hurts my heart too much to think that there are bad people in the world, so I won't believe it. And I think that that's such a hard, sad thing to have happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, some people are just bad. I mean, I've met people where I was like, oh, I've never believed in the devil until I met that guy. And now I'm like, oh, I think he's here. I really legitimately think that person is here. Mm-hmm. So it's like, some people are just bad, or some people are looking for stuff. It's like whenever people talk about, like, we'll just make a law. Yeah. The good people are already obeying the laws. It's the bad people who don't care what you write on a piece of paper that are going to keep doing the bad stuff. We can't stop them. I mean, we could try, but they're mostly just going to keep doing it because that's what they want to do. And I don't know. It's such a crazy thing to imagine. I mean, when you are Now, just to change the subject slightly, but also keep it within the realm of these kinds of people. You were talking about doing a lot of creative stuff and writing stuff. Do you ever draw inspiration from the wild, sort of like darkness of the world that you have either witnessed or that you like think about, and then like to create characters or anything like that? Do you have any writings that are particularly dark, or is it all comedy?
Boy, do I have an answer for you.
I'm so glad.
This year, my challenge for myself was I when I think of myself and who I am, I think of myself primarily as a musician, which is not an identity that I think a lot of people share or perceive me as.
Sure.
And a big part of that is because of how the work that I produce is very, very intimately about myself and the people that I interact with. And that makes it difficult for me to share it with other people. And so for the past 10 years, I've been writing, I have like hundreds of songs, and most people haven't heard anything.
Oh.
And I eventually was like, if I'm ever gonna like do music stuff, I need to like get it out. And so every week I've done so far, I come out with a song, I post it on the internet, and share it on Facebook, and it's like, it's so hard to do it, because it's like, even when people are like listening and they're complimentary or whatever, it's the same as like, hey, I read that chapter in your diary and it was really moving, I really liked it. And it's like, thank you so much. Also, I'm dying on the inside, because it's like, this is so personal.
Yeah.
And a lot of this is just this like, it's this catch-22 kind of thing where it's like, I can write something that isn't personal, that I don't feel that emotionally connected to, and I have no problem sharing. But then the work isn't worth it. Then it doesn't mean anything. It's not good.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh God, then that means the stuff that I don't want anyone to listen to is the stuff that probably should, like, that's the stuff that is like purposeful or that I have to share. And so I at least have this layer of like social media where I don't see anybody's like faces or whatever, and it's like I can be like, here's a link, and then post, and then I like look away and I don't check my profile for a while, and then people like the status and comment like, this is great or whatever, but it's like it's a lot.
Yeah. I think it's really hard to be vulnerable.
Yes.
It's funny because, like, as I was driving here, I was like, oh, I'm in a good mood for a podcast. I'm feeling vulnerable. I want to talk about, like, my deep feelings. And it's funny because that is the hardest part. I mean, I find you're right. It is the most rewarding, both for yourself. I mean, in the long run, I'm sure that it's still scary at the beginning, but, like, after you do it consistently for a while, I really think, I mean, it's like improv. The first time you do it, you're like, ooh, what's this? But it can become religious. It can become the release you needed in a way that it is more than, the way some people really go to church, and when they finish, they're like, oh, I feel better. That's exactly what I needed to do. Great, good for you. Right? Yeah. My thing is, I'd love to hop up and do a little improv, and that makes me feel better. And with your music, that's so awesome. Yeah. The other thing too, and I, both from a business perspective and from a artist perspective, a couple years ago we had this like development gal from TV in LA happened to live in Austin for like 6 months or something like that. And while she was there, she like swung by the theater and was like, hey, it occurred to me I have knowledge that might be helpful. Can I have a little workshop? And I was like, sure. And so she like people just sat and listened to her while she said like, okay, I get to pick what television shows go on the television, and I'm going to tell you what I want, what I'm looking for to help you write those things. And she was great. I mean, and one of the things was like highly personal, something that you really care about. Not only because the audience reacts to it, and from an artist point of view, man, when somebody reveals something and then you are like, oh my God, I go through that too. And like to know that another person feels the same emotion that you do, it's better than, it's more than anything. I mean, there's just so much to making your life feel a little bit better. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe we're feeling the same feelings. Like, it makes me feel better. I'm not so alone.
Yeah.
You know?